Alright, so this video here we're going to look at solving differential equations using undetermined coefficients. Alright, so if we have a second order non-homogeneous linear differential equation that's in this form here, y double prime plus ay prime plus by equals f of x. So for the undetermined coefficients we need to guess at a solution yp. Okay, and based on what f of x is, that's how you're going to choose the y sub p. And here's some examples. Okay, so if we have f of x as 1, or just any constant, a 5, a 7, or whatever, we're going to choose y sub p to equal a. And if we have f of x equals 5x plus 7, we'll choose y sub p to equal ax plus b. And I'm not going to read through the whole list, but it goes on. And this is not all of them. You can check whatever book you're using, look in there, and they'll probably have, some of these or some similar to it. Or and they'll probably have some more. I just wrote down a few. I just put a few of them here. But like I said, there's more in the list depending on what book you have. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. Alright, so here we're going to solve y double prime minus 2y prime minus 3y equals 2 sine x. Alright, so before we guess our y of p, first thing we need to do is find the general solution. We need to find the solution to y double prime minus 2y prime minus 3y equals 0. Okay, we solve this first. Okay, and we get our solution y of c. So hopefully you remember how to solve this. We're going to rewrite this as m squared minus 2m minus 3 equals 0. And then this factors m minus 3 plus 1. So we get m equals 3 or m equals negative 1. Alright, so we have our two roots here, okay, for y of c. So do you remember? If you remember how to do this, alright, so we have y double prime plus ay prime plus by equals 0. So that's what we have. So here's our characteristic equation that we used in our problem. We factored it and we got our two roots. We got 3 and negative 1. Okay, that's the m1 and the m2. And they were distinct real roots. So that means y is equal to c1e to the m1x, that's one of the solutions, the m1, plus c2e to the m2x. m2 is the other solution. So in our problem, m1 would be the, well, you can call it the negative 1 or the 3, it doesn't matter. So we'll just say m1 is a negative 1 and m2 would be 3. So this would be our solution y of c. Alright, so we have y of c is equal to c1e to the negative 1x, which is negative x, plus c2e to the 3x. Alright, so that's our y of c. Okay, now we need to make a guess at y of p. Okay, so f of x is 2 sine x. So which one would we use for that? Well, here we go. Here we have sine 4x. Okay, so this would be similar to 2 sine x. So we would choose y sub p to equal a cosine, and in our case it would be x instead of 4x, plus b sine x. Alright, so that's going to be my guess. And so now I'm gonna choose yp equals a cosine x plus b sine x. Alright, so what I have to do now is I have to take the first derivative and the second derivative of this, because what I'm going to do after I take these derivatives, I'm going to take the y sub p and y prime sub p and y double prime sub p, and I'm going to plug it back into my equation. Alright, so let's go ahead and take the derivative. So y prime sub p is equal to negative a sine x plus b cosine x, and then y double prime sub p is equal to negative a cosine x minus b sine x. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this and we're going to substitute into our original problem. Alright, so let's substitute this in. So y double prime is this, so I get negative a cosine x minus b sine x minus 2 times y prime, and here's y prime, negative a sine x plus b cosine x, and then the y sub p I'm going to plug into here, and so that's going to be minus 3 times a cosine x plus b sine x. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to come down here, and that would equal 2 sine x. Alright, so now let's go ahead and distribute and get rid of these parentheses here. So that's going to give me negative a cosine x minus b sine x, plus a negative and negative, 2a sine x minus 2b cosine x minus 3a cosine x minus 3b sine x, and that equals 2 sine x. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my cosine and all of my sine terms together. Alright, so you can see here I've got a negative a cosine and a negative 3a cosine. So that's going to be negative 4a cosine x. Okay, so that takes care of that one and that one. And then let's see, I've got a minus 2b cosine x, so minus 2b cosine x. Alright, now let's work on the sine terms. So I have a plus 2a sine x, so that's going to be plus, now let me change the colors back, plus 2a sine x, so that takes care of that one. And then I have a minus b sine x and a minus 3b sine x, so that's minus 4b sine x, and that takes care of that one and that one, and so that is equal to 2 sine x. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is factor out a cosine. So that's going to give me negative 4a minus 2b times cosine x plus 2a minus 4b. I'm factoring out a sine x here, and that equals 2 sine x. Alright, so if you look at this, you see this sine x and this sine x. Well, in order for them to be equal, this has to be 2. Okay, and then notice we don't have a cosine over here, so that means this term here would have to equal 0 since there's no cosine over here. So we have negative 4a minus 2b equals 0, and then we have 2a minus 4b equals the 2. And then these are just two equations, two unknowns. You should know how to solve them, so I'm not going to show that work, but we would get a equals 1/5, and we get b is equal to negative 2/5. Alright, so if you remember, we had y of c was equal to c1 e to the negative x plus c2 e to the 3x. That's what we got when we set it equal to 0 and solved. And then we guessed y sub p to be a cosine x plus b sine x. Alright, well, we solved for a and b, so that means y sub p would be 1/5 cosine x, and then b was negative 2/5, so that's minus 2/5 sine x. So our solution y is equal to y sub c plus y sub p. And so it's this, c1 e to the negative x plus c2 e to the 3x plus y sub p. So that's plus 1/5 cosine x minus 2/5 sine x. And this would be our solution. Alright, so I hope this video helped. If you liked it, check out my other videos and you can subscribe. Alright, thanks.